Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Niger once again, and this is going to be another predictions video. Yes, as unlike the previous ones which were community posts, this one will be an actual video. Like I said, I'm probably going to alternate between the two, just to drive up some interactions on the community side of things, and I think I'm gonna try to post more in the community notes and everything within within YouTube and everything. But in the meantime, it's time to get a little spooky because tonight is NXT Halloween Havoc. So they are going to be live tonight from the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I have two jokes I want to make, and I'm going to make them both. The first one being Halloween Havoc in Hershey. I got nothing, and the jokes write themselves sometimes. But the other one being, since they're in Hershey, does that mean Willy Wonka will be the special guest host for this event? But nevertheless, as dumb jokes aside, this is going to be the first Halloween Havoc premium live event since 2022 to be taking place here tonight. The 2020, 2021, and 2023 Halloween Havocs were the TV specials was on TV, of course. But this one gets its own premium live event. And comment below which one you prefer. Do you prefer it to be a TV special, or do you prefer it to be a premium live event? For me, admittedly, I'm kind of back and forth because on one hand, having the two nights allows them to fill both nights, and you can elongate it in the week, and it's on TV. It's on free TV. People can watch it. But on the other hand, Halloween Havoc was like an official pay-per-view event in WCW, and the premium live event means no commercials. Well, at least not during the matches themselves. Well, between matches and stuff like that, yeah, but not during the matches themselves. But nevertheless, we got our match card here, and of course, a couple things worth mentioning before we begin. Excuse me. For starters, these are going to be all my predictions and therefore all my opinions. So if you disagree with any of these, that is totally and completely fine. In fact, let me know in the comments below what your predictions are. But the other thing is that this is just the order that they are listed on the wiki. Doesn't necessarily mean this will be the order come showtime. So, I'm sure this will probably move around throughout the night. And so this is just how it's let out how it's arranged on the wiki, and it does have the little blurb here, card subject to change. But without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the NXT Championship match, as Trick Williams will be defending against Ethan Page, and this will be a spin the wheel, make the deal, and it will be a Devil's Playground match, which I don't think I've seen the Devil's Playground match as that they have on. Actually, I think the one between Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest from Halloween Havoc 2020 was Devil's Playground. Pretty much kind of just like no disqualification, essentially. But on the NXT CW premiere, which I reviewed a couple weeks ago, if you haven't already, go check that out. But on that premiere, Trick Williams became NXT champion again, defeating Ethan Page, and so this is the match that will. This will be the match. This will be the rematch, I should say, for the NXT Championship. Almost had a Michael McGillicuddy moment there, but nevertheless, these two have been feuding pretty much for a good portion of 2024, ever since Ethan Page came into NXT/WWE, which is crazy how he came in and immediately is getting in this big program. He was NXT champion. He pretty much hot-shotted his way into the NXT Championship. If not even Adam Cole won the NXT Championship that quickly. But nevertheless, as Ethan Page was an NXT champion, lost to Trick Williams, and now we're getting the rematch here. Ethan Page released a diss track of his own. Trick Williams released one back and got Reverend Devon involved. But as for this match, I think in between this one, I think I'll go with Trick Williams here. I don't necessarily want him to drop it back to Ethan, because what was the point of taking it off what was the point of taking it off Ethan in the first place then? And I know not every title reign has to be like 300 plus days, but at the same time, to take it off so soon after winning it, it was like, what was the point of having it on there? Or sometimes there are exceptions to the rule, well, such as like Jey Uso losing the title back, losing the Intercontinental Championship back to Braun Breaker, or because Jey Uso is now going to be involved in the Bloodline storyline, the Bloodline versus Bloodline essentially. But yeah, for this one, I don't necessarily want Ethan Page to win it back just yet. Do I think he'll be NXT champion again at some point? It's a possibility, but for now, just keep it on Trick Williams, especially if they are going to go for Trick Williams versus Wesley. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with Trick Williams getting the win here. But next up, for the NXT North American Championship in a tables, ladders, and scares match, Tony D'Angelo will be defending against Oba Femi. Now, I just recently, just a few days ago, reviewed a tables, ladders, and scare match between Candice LeRae and Io Shirai. Hey, if you haven't already, go check out that review. But this part is interesting. The match can only be won by pinfall, which is kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie, because now you almost negated one of your major stipulations, that being the ladder. Now the ladder would just be there for fun, at least with like the previous tables, ladders, and scares match, as the championship was hanging above the ring, as is normally tradition for tables, ladders, and chairs matches. I can think of only a handful of ones that have like the pinfall rule in effect, and it's just kind of weird, because it's like, you have the ladder, why not use the ladder? Or so I guess ladders here are more of an option and less a requirement. So okay, but yeah, if you missed it, you may be like, hey Nigel, when did Tony D'Angelo win the NXT North American Championship? He won it a couple weeks ago on NXT. He defeated Oba Femi for the NXT North American Championship, and so Oba Femi essentially wants it back here. So the feud between Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi, he continuing to roll along here. That being said, I'm admittedly at a bit of a crossroads here, because on one hand, like I just mentioned with Trick Williams, like Tony D'Angelo dropping the title back to Oba so soon after winning it, would be kind of head scratching. But at the same time, I don't think Oba Femi's getting called up to the main roster just yet. He's still relatively new in NXT. He's been there for a little over a year. And Tony D'Angelo seems like he might be like like Tony's been in NXT since the 2.0 days. Like, it's a bit interesting that he just won the title when it seemed like he may be close to a main roster call up. But nevertheless, I think I am gonna go with Tony D'Angelo here. It'll be interesting to see how this match plays out, and I think Oba Femi is gonna be just fine. If anything, hey, now I want to see Oba Femi in the NXT title division, and I think that'd be interesting to see. Oba Femi potentially being in the NXT Championship division, moving up from the North American title division up to the NXT Championship division. But next up in a major tag team match, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade will be taking on Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. So, it's worth mentioning, this is the only match of the night that is not a stipulation. But that being said, it is still relatively big in its own right. So, Julia unsuccessfully challenged Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship on the CW premiere with help from Cora Jade. So Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade kind of have their kind of friendship rekindled. Well, Julia and Stephanie Vaquer are kind of friendly rivals in a way. Like they both want the NXT Women's Championship. They both wanted to take over the Anyway, they both want to take over the NXT Women's division, but they have decided to team up for now to take down the champion Roxanne Perez, and kind of another story thread they're tying here is Roxanne Perez's grip slipping on the NXT Women's Championship. that remains to be seen. But in the meantime, I think I'm probably gonna go with Julia and Stephanie Vaquer here, or I think to further that story. He obviously Julia has lost to this point, but but why not give him a win over the champion here? And then that furthers the story of is Roxanne gonna lose the title soon, and probably build from there. Whether it be Julia or Stephanie Vaquer, or even Zarya, no longer Delta, but Zarya, who potentially takes the NXT Women's Championship. Yeah, but a lot of people have said it, and I echo those sentiments. Man, the NXT women's division, I should say, is on fire right now. In just a few moments with Julia coming in, with Stephanie Vaquer coming in, with Delta coming in, the division is now on fire, and I'm excited. But next up in an ambulance match, Andre Chase takes on Ridge Holland. So Ridge Holland turned on Andre Chase back at No Mercy and put him out for a little bit, but Andre Chase is back, and he is going to give a teachable moment to Ridge Holland in the form of beating the crap out of him, and the ambulance match, I think, very appropriate for this stipulation. Hopefully, Andre Chase doesn't try to kill him in the ambulance like Roman Reigns tried to do to Braun Strowman back at Great Balls of Fire in 2017. Man, that was a weird pay-per-view name. And that was kind of a weird pay-per-view as well. But nevertheless, as for this one, I think as for who should win this one, I could see you making an argument for either side. Like Ridge Holland, and I think could get a decent little push out of this. Andre Chase could get his revenge on Ridge Holland, but I think I'm gonna go with Ridge Holland on this one, and I think give Ridge Holland the win here, kind of give him a little push. Maybe they'll have a rematch. Maybe Andre Chase will go on to do some other stuff, but have Ridge Holland back up his claims. But last but certainly not least, in the third spin the wheel make the deal match, this one being Spinner's Choice, and this was actually the segment on NXT that gave us the debut of Zarya. Kalani Jordan will defend her NXT Women's North American Championship against one member of Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, JC Jane, or Jasmine Nix. And we aren't sure which one it's going to be just yet. It's going to be determined. Shouldn't they probably have figured this out already? But nevertheless, wait till showtime, kind of catch the champion off guard. But yes, so Kalani Jordan has been feuding with Fatal Influence for a little bit. It now has been accused of ducking Fatal Influence, even though Kalani denies those claims and aims even in beating them in tag team action alongside Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. So now it comes down to this. So I guess I'll predict who is going to be challenging for the NXT Women's North American Championship, and what the match type, I guess, will be alongside the winner. So I think of all of them to challenge, I'm tempted to go maybe with JC Jane, or it could be a segment where they go full heel and say, which they're already heel, but go full heel rules and say, you gotta face all three of us in a handicap match, and maybe that will be the Spinner's Choice. Maybe it'll be a 3-on-1 handicap, and whoever gets the win could become champion, and which would be nice. But then you could have a moment where Kalani uses that against them, saying, "Oh, well, which one of you is going to be champion?" And fight amongst themselves. That's kind of just fancy booking on my part. Obviously, we will see come showtime. But I think I'll say all that to say I say all that to say that I don't think Kalani's dropping it just yet. Dropping the title just yet, so I'm going to go with Kalani Jordan on that one. So essentially, I have to do 3 predictions in one. Actually, 3 predictions in one for that one. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for Halloween Havoc in terms of predictions. What I think the strongest and weakest match of the night will be, I think the strongest will probably be. Honestly, either of these matches look good, or the tag team match will probably be a lot of fun. the weakest, maybe the Women's North American Championship match, or perhaps the ambulance match. But we will see come showtime, of course. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see it as soon as it drops. And let me know in the comments below if you're watching Halloween Havoc tonight, and what are your predictions for Halloween Havoc. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.